Okay, good morning students. Here we have a new topic, that is D and F block elements belongs to inorganic chemistry. I think you have an idea about the different blocks of elements in the periodic table. You know, in the periodic table nowadays around 118 elements are there. They are grouped into, they are categorized into different groups on the basis of their properties. Extreme left two groups that constitute S block elements, group 13 to 18 constitute P block elements, and in between S and P there is a group of elements, that is group 3 to 12, that is third group to 12th group. These elements are placed, they are called D block element. I think only we have a general description about this F block elements, the other thing is deleted. And also the important compounds. Here we mainly discuss about the properties of D block elements. Okay. The position of D block element is from group 3 to 12. And they are also called transition metal, because they show the transition from metals to non-metals. Transition means change. Then transition metals are characterized by the availability of partially filled d electrons. Partially filled d electrons. D orbital is partially filled. The general outermost configuration of D block element n-1 d 1 to 10, ns1 or 2, that is some elements show exceptional configuration that you have studied in class 11th, especially in the lesson atomic structure or structure of atom. Chromium and copper exhibit this exceptional configuration. And here I send a note of this lesson in your class group. You just go through it and you can copy notes from that. You can exclude the portions such as potassium dichromate, etc. You just concentrated about the properties. Okay, and you can copy the note from the copy class note from the note already sent to you. Okay, then here it is called outermost shell, and this one is called penultimate shell. Penultimate means the shell just before the outermost shell. Here electron filling takes place in the penultimate shell. And D block elements are characterized by the presence of partially filled d electron. Due to this reason, zinc, cadmium, mercury or californium, etc. are mainly zinc, cadmium and mercury are not regarded, not considered as transition metal because of their D10 configuration. They have completely filled a D subshell. And when you go through the periodic table, you can see that there are 4 transition series. The first transition series, 3D series, 4D series, 5D and finally 6D series. It starts with scandium to zinc, yttrium to cadmium, lanthanum to mercury and actinium to californium. There are 4 transition series. And now we discuss what are the important properties of these transition metals. First one about this atomic and ionic radii. Atomic and ionic radii in a transition metal, as we move from left to right, before the d orbital has poor shielding effect, screening effect, poor shielding effect, so that the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. Therefore, among lanthanides, as we move, I will explain it in later. It is a particular property that is mainly exhibited by metals containing 4f electrons, that is called a lanthanide contraction. That is due to the poor shielding effect of d orbital, that outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. As a result, size of the atom decreases. The properties, all the properties are clearly exhibited in the notebook. That is, next one is ionization enthalpy. This ionization enthalpy of transition metals are higher than that of S block elements and lower than that of P block elements. It is higher than that of S block and lower than that of P block elements. And it is mainly due to this configuration N-1d and a strong bond between the d and outermost S electron. And third one, melting point. Most of the transition metals are hard metals. They have there is some exception, that is mercury. Mercury is a metal that exists in liquid state at all temperature. Then all other metals are hard. They possess high melting point, and it is due to the strong bond between N-1d and S. And there is a separate graph shown in our textbook that the melting point goes on increasing. After that, it decreases. It is maximum for elements that contains or that is filled with the D5 configuration. D5 means half-filled stability or extra stability. Such metal possesses maximum boiling point. And the next, transition metals exhibit variable oxidation state. Variable oxidation state. How this, or what is the reason behind this? You know, the general configuration of outermost configuration is N-1d Ns. This N-1d and Ns have almost comparable energy, so that d electrons can also take part in reaction along with the S electron. Therefore, you know, manganese is a transition metal. MnCl2, MnO2, MnO4 minus etc. Here the oxidation state is +2, here it is +4, and here it is +7. Transition metals exhibit variable oxidation state because of the comparable energy between N-1d and Ns. And also, as per this formula, the maximum oxidation state is exhibited by manganese, and the highest oxidation state is exhibited by osmium, and that is +8. +8 is the highest oxidation state that is done by osmium. And next one is about the colored compound. Colored compound. Transition metals and their compounds are colored. Color is due to the phenomenon called DD transition. This DD transition takes place only when that metal containing odd electron or unpaired electron. Already we have studied in color formed by coordination compound on the basis of crystal field theory. And sometimes question asks like this: which among the following is colored or colorless? Zn2 plus, Cu plus, Sc3 plus, Cu2 plus, Ti4 plus. Among these, identify the species that exhibit color. And we just go through the zinc 2 ion. Zn, you know, the electronic configuration is argon core 3d10 4s2. When it becomes Zn2 plus, it is argon core 3d10. That is, by removing 2 electron, it becomes 3d10 configuration. D10 means completely filled. There is no chance for DD transition. Hence, Zn2 plus is colorless. And next we consider Cu plus ion. Copper electronic configuration is argon core 3d10 4s1. Argon core 3d10 4s1. Cu plus again argon core 3d10 d10 configuration. It is also colorless. Clear? First you have an idea about how to write the valence electronic configuration and find out the number of electron lost by the atom, then it attains particular oxidation state, and from the oxidation state of the ion you can predict whether that is colored or colorless on the basis of this electronic configuration. Those ions have partially filled d electron that exhibit color. And next is Sa3 plus, that is argon core 3d1 4s2. Sa3 plus means argon core 3d0, d0 again colorless. Next is about Cu2 plus. Cu configuration 3d10 4s1 and Cu2 plus means it becomes 3d9. D9 is partially filled. There is a chance for DD transition. And Cu2 plus is colored. I think all of you understand with this. First you have an idea how to write the outermost configuration of an element, transition element. And from that you can get the oxidation state of the respective one. Then you predict whether, since this d, that is d orbitals have 5 orientations and d9 it contains partially filled d electron, one unpaired electron, and finally we take titanium 4 ion, Ti4 plus ion. Ti4 plus ion means titanium argon core 3d2 4s2, Ti4 plus is 3d0, d0 again colorless. That is very important for the examination. Identify the species which exhibit color or which are colored, species which are colored or which do not have any color. That is, up to this, the important properties, major properties or very important examination level questions usually asked from oxidation state and this colored compound. Next one is, next property, important properties is paramagnetic in nature. Paramagnetic. Transition metal and their compounds are paramagnetic due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Due to the presence of unpaired electron. The magnetic moment is given by spin-only formula, that is root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. Magnetic moment is given by root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton, where n is the number of unpaired electron. Number of unpaired electron. If a question asks, like, among the bivalent ion, among the bivalent ions of first transition series, among the bivalent ions of first transition series, which one contain or which one possess maximum magnetic moments? Before that, you have an idea. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, and zinc are the elements of first transition series. Then, here bivalent ions. Manganese, the configuration is argon core 3d5 4s2. If it is chromium 3d5 4s1, then 2 plus ion. Bivalent means valency 2 plus 2. Scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt. Manganese possesses d5 configuration, 3d5 configuration. Therefore, the magnetic moment is root of 5 into 5 plus 2 Bohr magneton, or root 35, that is equal to 5.9 Bohr magneton. Similarly, question asks the magnetic moment of an ion. The magnetic moment of an ion is found to be 1.71 Bohr magneton. 1.71 Bohr magneton. How many unpaired electrons are there? How many unpaired electrons are there? 1.71. Root 3, approximately root 3 equal to 1.71 Bohr magneton. Therefore, if a bivalent ion contains one unpaired electron, root of 1 into 1 plus 2, root 3, that is, it contains one unpaired electrons. Clear? That is very important. This question is normally asked for the examination. And next one is about the catalytic property. Catalytic property. Catalytic property of transition metal. Most of the transition metals and their compounds act as catalyst in various reactions. Haber process, the catalyst is spongy iron, act as a catalyst in Haber process. In contact process, vanadium pentoxide is used as a catalyst. Okay. All hydrogenation reaction is usually carried out by the presence of nickel, platinum or palladium. And the catalytic activity of transition metal is explained on the basis of the comparable energy between n-1d and ns orbital. n-1d and ns orbital. Therefore, transition metals act as catalyst in various reactions. Example, spongy iron in Haber process, then vanadium pentoxide in contact process for the manufacture of sulfuric acid. Catalytic hydrogenation in presence of nickel, platinum or palladium as catalyst. Next is about alloy formation. That is another property, alloy formation. Alloy formation. Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metal or a metal with a non-metal. Due to this comparable atomic size, say copper, zinc, they combine to form a homogeneous mixture. That is an alloy which is called brass. Copper and zinc combines to form an alloy called brass. This alloy, or after the formation of this alloy, we cannot separate zinc or copper from that mixture. Hence it is called a solution, solid solution. Alloy is an example of solid solution. It has various advantages that it can prevent corrosion. Brass, bronze, gunmetal, bell metal, invar, all these are examples for alloys. Then next property is interstitial compound. Interstitial compound. Transition metals forms interstitial compound. They form interstitial compound because there are large space in the crystal lattice. In the crystal lattice there are large vacant space so that small atom, boron, carbon, hydrogen, etc. can easily occupy in the lattice point so that it forms non-stoichiometric compound. And as far as this electrode potential of this transition metal is concerned, only A0 Cu2 plus bar Cu has a positive value, that is 0.34 volt. It is due to its high hydration enthalpy or hydration energy. These are the major properties of transition metal, especially D block elements. And there is an important area that is called lanthanide contraction. Lanthanide contraction. Before that, you have an idea about this coinage metals, coinage metal, copper, silver, gold. They are called coinage metals. Lanthanide contraction. Among the second series of this lanthanide, with increase in atomic number, the atomic radius decreases. Atomic radius decreases with the increase in atomic number. The steady decrease in atomic radii with increase in atomic size. The steady decrease in atomic radii with increase in atomic size is called lanthanide contraction. Lanthanide contraction. As the atomic number increases, atomic size decreases. The decrease in atomic size with the increase in atomic number is called lanthanide contraction. You know, in lanthanide, 4f electrons are involved. This 4f electron, F electron has poor shielding effect than D electron, so that the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. Then, cause of lanthanide contraction. The lanthanide contraction is due to the poor shielding effect of 4f electron. Poor shielding or screening effect. Due to the poor shielding effect, the outermost electron is strongly attracted by it. Does not act as a proper shield or proper covering, so that the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus. As a result, there is a shrinkage or shrinking or decrease in the size of the atom. That is called lanthanide contraction. And the cause of lanthanide contraction, it is due to the poor shielding effect of 4f electron. And next is about what are the consequences of this lanthanide contraction. Similarity between second and third transition series. You know, zirconium 159 picometer is the atomic radius, hafnium 160 picometer. Similarity between second and third transition series. Due to this lanthanide contraction, the second and third transition series behaves or exhibited to form identical size. so that we cannot easily separate the transition metal. However, ion exchange method is used for the separation. Ion exchange method is used for the separation of lanthanoid. And the second one is, as we move from lanthanum to lutetium, the covalent character increases and the basic character decreases. That is, the common oxidation state of lanthanoid is +3. It exhibits a base having the formula LaOH thrice, lanthanum hydroxide. Lanthanum hydroxide is more basic than lutetium hydroxide. It is due to lanthanoid contraction. Due to this lanthanoid contraction, the covalent character increases from lanthanum to lutetium. And about this, this is about the D block elements, and in your textbook you can see after completing the properties of these metals, there are two important compounds. There are two major compounds of D block element. One is potassium dichromate and other is potassium permanganate. Their preparation, reactions as oxidizing action, etc. And for the time being it is not included here. And the next is about F block elements. Most of the properties are also deleted. F block elements. The two rows of elements placed at the bottom of the periodic table constitute F block elements. These F block elements are of two types. One in which electron filling in the 4f, that is called lanthanoid, and other in which electron filling in the 5f is called actinoids. And if we just compare the properties, most of the lanthanides are non-radioactive. Among this, promethium is radioactive. Except promethium, all other lanthanoids are radioactive. All actinoids are radioactive, so that they find application in nuclear reactor. The common oxidation state of lanthanoids and actinides is +3. In addition to this, lanthanoids exhibit +2, +4 oxidation state. Actinoids exhibit +2, +4, +5 and +6, even +7 oxidation state also. The alloy, one of the important alloy, that is called misch metal. Misch metal contains 99% of lanthanoid with a small amount of carbon, sulfur, etc. Misch metal is mainly used for polishing purpose. Or these are the major things included in D block elements. Once more I just recollect the important areas. That is, D block elements, the position of D block element is from group 3 to 12 of the modern periodic table. There are mainly 4 transition series, second, third, fourth, fifth transition series. That is, electron filling takes place in the 3D, 4D, 5D and 6D. There are 4 transition series, and among this, group 3 to 12 constitute D block elements. Their general outermost configuration is N-1D, 1 to 10, NS1 or 2. And the important definition of D block elements, they are characterized by the presence of partially filled D electrons, incomplete D orbital. Partially filled D electrons are there. And next, the general characteristics of D block elements, they all are metals, hard metals except mercury, which is a liquid. Their atomic and ionic radii decreases across a period because of the poor shielding effect of D and F electron. D and F electron has poor shielding effect, so that the outermost electron is strongly attracted by the nucleus, size of the atom decreases, which is known by a term called Lanthanide contraction. Or due to Lanthanide contraction, we are not able to separate the different elements because of their comparable size. You know, zirconium and hafnium both have almost same atomic radius, 159 picometer and 160 picometer. Similarly, as we move from lanthanum to lutetium, the covalent character increases. As a result, the basic character decreases. That are the consequence of this Lanthanide contraction. And you have studied as what do you mean by Lanthanide contraction, what is the cause of Lanthanide contraction, and major consequence of Lanthanide contraction. Okay? And here F block elements, there are two series of elements, two rows of elements placed at the bottom of the periodic table. They are called F block elements. Two types, one is lanthanide, in which electron filling takes place in the 4f orbital, and other is actinoid. Here electron filling takes place in the 5f orbital, and both lanthanoids and actinoids exhibit +3 oxidation state as the stable oxidation state, +3. Okay, clear? And here for the examination question asks you among the properties of this D block element, you mainly concentrated this one. One is variable oxidation state, reason, then catalytic activity. What is the reason for exhibiting D block elements as catalyst? Then magnetic property. Here also you have to find out the magnetic moment, or sometimes the magnetic moment is given and you have to find out the corresponding unpaired electron given in that species. And color formed by coordination compound, color of coordination compound, non-stoichiometric compound. Non-stoichiometric compounds are formed because of the presence of vacant space in the crystal lattice. Okay, and that's about D block, D and F block elements. Even though the chapter name include D and F block element, here just they studied about the properties of these elements D and F. Okay, and you just go through this and studied all the properties one by one, and mainly concentrated these 4 or 5 properties. That is very important for the examination. And the remaining, such as melting point, why the elements placed at the center of a particular row or a particular period has higher melting point. They have extra stability due to D5 configuration. Okay, that's about this lesson, and we can clarify the remaining things after your examination. And we have one more inorganic lesson for your exam, that is P block element, that will start in the next class. Okay, thank you.